Hello, my name is Chloe. You probably already knew that. This video is going to be a little different than what I usually do. I normally would post music to this channel, but I really wanted to make this channel about more. I wanted to incorporate more parts about lifestyle.
It's pretty obvious that this past year we've reached a massive wave of uncertainty. In times like these, it's just pretty easy to lose track of the days. But I don't really want to lose track of those days. In fact, I want to take advantage of whatever opportunity sits in front of me, and I like to take time to reflect on moments that were special. Sometimes it's just important to sit back and observe and pay gratitude to those moments that led to growth. I mean, you know what they say, it's all about the destination and not the journey, right? I'm just kidding. It's about the journey, yo. It's just all about the journey.
2019 in particular was pretty life-changing, and I don't want to leave it without sharing what made it so special. I'm just grateful for a lot of the events that unfolded. I want to share with you what I learned from them at a full scope. So, flashback to January. To kick off 2019, I had just been casted in my first college musical. I was casted in The Light in the Piazza as Clara. If you've seen Light in the Piazza, you understand that reference. I didn't just sing that to be weird. I was a sophomore in college at the time at Illinois State University when I auditioned. This was the first time I had auditioned for a show for its School of Fine Arts. I was so nervous because I am not a theater major, nor am I a music major. I'm actually an economics major and an Italian minor and then a generalized music minor. I know, it is the only musical that they do every year. This particular role was just one of those competitive ones, like think Belle in Beauty and the Beast, total bloodbath. I know, right? When I got the news that I was casted as Clara, I was just so taken aback. All I could really picture was being on that stage singing. I was just so happy. In addition, this wasn't just about getting the role that I wanted. It felt like a major achievement given the heavy obstacles. An obstacle that I'm used to facing is that I tend to get typecasted as either the saucy, exotic type or the opera suprema diva due to my vocal range. This was the first role that allowed me to break that stigma and show that I was capable of doing something different. So being able to beat the obstacles just felt like I had climbed this mountain, and after all the hard work of climbing it, for once I didn't fall off the cliff in the process, and I actually made it. This experience I will always remember and learn that just keep trying, keep working towards your goals. On to February and March. It was super crazy busy because I was a full-time student while having the Light in the Piazza performances like every night, and in addition, my community theater at home, 2 hours away, was having auditions for West Side Story for its summer season. So, immediately the night that Piazza closed, I had to binge practice for the role of Maria, wake up early the next morning, drive 2 hours in a race, and audition for Maria in West Side Story. It was a lot. Maria is another high-reaching role, and I got it. And trust me, there have been some roles that I have worked insanely hard for to try to get, and I've had to face the rejection of not getting them. It's just a fact of life. So in that context, reflecting then and now, again, this was just a really special part of my year. I remember getting the casting call while I was in Alabama with my grandma and grandpa, and we were in the car driving. I remember getting the news and finding out I was Maria. All of us in the car were screaming, and it's just one of those moments where you look back and you remember it forever. So I'm going to be honest as I can. I don't want to mislead you into thinking that I live this perfectly wonderful and happy life, because there have been thorns. During this time of all this, I was stuck in what I would consider a toxic relationship that impacted a greater part of my life negatively. I had to make the choice to leave it. You never really understand how difficult doing something like that is until you finally do it. When I first exited this relationship, it felt right. Like I had felt like I gained this prevailing amount of freedom, but then it got hard. I inevitably felt very lonely, as one would fear they would. I faced a very tough month at school, and I didn't have real friends close to me, so I felt very isolated. In that time, even though one part of my life was entirely full, it also felt like another part of my life was completely empty. So I spent the remainder of my sophomore year of college either in class or alone in my dorm, and I was very depressed. I turned to music for a lot of healing. I picked up the guitar and would just play. I would teach myself things and I would sing, and I was finally doing something I really wanted to do. I was in a creative loneliness that helped me become a lot of who I needed in order to become the type of person I wanted to be. I was finally putting to action the things I had put off for so long, either because I made excuses for myself or because my life was consumed with a million other things. This part of my life, no doubt, was a lot of suffering, but I'm almost appreciative for the strength and resilience it taught me. I realized something really important. Sometimes you have to take it for what it is. That time can be beneficial for you if you take advantage of it in the right ways. Allow yourself to objectively view your circumstances. Don't settle and fill the gaps in your life with the wrong things just to escape some temporary suffering. You need some of that pain to acquire anything worthwhile. I moved out of school and back to home for the summer, which is in Rockford. That summer would bring a lot of West Side Story, like a lot. Theater takes up a lot of time if you were not aware. To go into more depth, there is this overwhelming feeling I get when I perform, and you get to share like the realest, rawest part of you. It's just crazy. It's more fulfilling than anything. I always like to say that singing is the longest relationship I've ever been in and the greatest love I've ever had. That's just the truth. I would also say that this role as Maria developed me a lot as a performer. It taught me a new layer to performance: pause. I don't know if you've ever seen the TV show Barry. If you haven't, you should. It's got Bill Hader in it. One of the characters, he's an acting teacher. In the show, he says, "Acting is truth." And that never really resonated with me until I played Maria. And I think it's because this is a character where you're forced to go into deeper depths and explore uncharted territory. It's one thing to put on this presentation of a character, but to actually connect with the character is just a whole new level of art. That's the art that people remember. That's the art that you remember when it's real. Not only did this event mean a lot to me as a singer, it meant a tremendous amount to me as an actor. Something unforgettable a part of this process was that in the second week of performances, I sprained my ankle and didn't even know if I was going to be able to perform. I was terrified, and so the show was fine, kind of. I was in a lot of pain, and there's a lot of ballet dancing, but I had some prescription meds. I'm gonna cut that out. Can't forget that. My summer job, I get to work as a princess for birthday parties, and I also went to Hawaii, and that was crazy cool. So, had a fantastic summer. I come back to my junior year of college with a lot of motivation. I was finally working on creating my YouTube channel, which I had wanted to do for so long. And in addition, I was trying to apply for more serious jobs. Something unexpectedly nice that happened, I decided to apply for the radio station on campus. I saw a flyer. It's not a secret passion of mine, but I was pretty interested. And after being interviewed, I got hired for 3 different internships: sound production, client services, and to be a DJ for 103.3 WZND. Now, the big thing that happened this year was that I applied for, and for those of you that don't know, actually started in Bloomington, Illinois, which is where I go to school, and a lot of people in the area end up working there. I was hired as a sales representative for the customer care center. I know as I'm spitting this off that this sounds like it was so easy, but it really wasn't. There was a tremendously complicated hiring process, and in addition to that, once I got there, I had to study my butt off for this 4-part exam that I had to drive an hour out of town for and take and pass all 4 parts in order to keep my job. So I really do feel like I earned my seat there now. Yeah, I'm not going to lie, it's taken up a huge chunk in my life. I'm working more now than I ever have. I work 30 hours a week. In addition to that, being a full-time student. In addition to that, doing the radio. In addition to that, trying to keep this YouTube channel thriving. It's a lot. But at the same time, this is a huge, profound opportunity that I believe will help open the door in career paths along the way. In addition to that, I'm learning a lot about managing my finances and business and insurance, and these are just things that I really believe a lot more kids my age should be learning. Just never really expected that I would be growing up so much right now and this fast, and I mean I probably should be, but I never really even expected to have a seat here at this company. So wrapping up this very busy semester, I'm working, I'm doing radio, I am doing school, and I'm not going to get much sleep, but I love crazy. I still plan on doing a lot for this YouTube. When I started it, I had a lot of ideas. That being said, I did take a little break from this channel once I started my new job and I was in the midst of finals, so I just felt like I needed some more time to allocate in those sectors of my life. The future for this channel is going to be more music, more bird, and along the way I would love to share more life. I consider myself a person who's heavily interested in things like self-development and mindfulness, and I would love to incorporate more of that into this channel. My life has changed a lot this year, and while it's changing, I'm still growing. I'm not done either. I don't necessarily want to get comfortable in this spot. There's still a lot I want to pursue and a lot that I want to discover, not only about myself, but about the world that we live in. There's this quote that my mom loves at the end of the movie. She's having a baby. It is, "In the end, what I was looking for was not to be found, but to be made." That quote resonates. Anyways, I hope you maybe took something out of this, if not learned a little bit more about me. Thank you so much for watching this and listening to what I had to say.
So, please like, please subscribe, comment down below what you'd like to see or hear from me next, and also comment what's important to you and how you've been spending this time. I'd love to hear it. Thanks.